What's up guys, it's Bree and I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite go-to hairstyles. They're easy, quick, and very cute. And if you're interested, stay tuned.
Alright, they asking for the queen. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage. Look back while I twerk. No comparison.
The supplies you'll need are a spray bottle, soft bristle brush, rat tail comb or fingernails, hair ties, hair gel, satin scarf, and bobby pins. Alright guys, so all of these styles you can start out from scratch. Take your bonnet off. You should have either twists, big or small, depending on how lazy of a night you had. I had a lazy night, so I had big twists. I started out, if you saw my last tutorial, fresh from a wash day. I also do this to maintain a wash and go with my defined curls. This is not a wash and go, but just so you know. And you just kind of take them out, be careful, use some oil to reduce the frizz and make sure that your curls are still defined. Mine aren't as defined just because I had bigger sections, but all in all, it all works. I can see us on the countryside, sitting on the grassland side by side. You could be my baby, let me make you my lady. Girl, you amaze me, ain't gotta do nothing crazy. See all out. And style number one is just like that. I usually prefer to wear this when I'm doing a wash and go on the third or fourth day, or if I'm gonna do this, I would usually do smaller sections, but this is my favorite. And style number two, the high puff, one of my first milestones as a new natural. I start out with spraying my edges with water. I'll do my hair as well just to, get some moisture in there. Put some gel all the way around. I personally use Eco Styler gel. I know there was controversy. It's never done me wrong. I'm just going to put that all over the sides of your hair, and then you're going to use your soft bristle brush to comb that up. Now, you definitely want to use a softer brush because you don't want to take those edges out. Mine are already sparse, and this is a high tension style depending on how tight or much you brush it, so just be careful there. I'm going to take those little curly cues out at the end, but just watch. I have a big rubber band scrunchie. Sometimes I'll also use a shoelace, and you're just going to wrap that up. Now y'all, I messed up, and you're going to see how in just a moment. Now as you see, I should have just put a bobby pin right at that cross section, and I'm making a face because I know at any moment I can just easily slap myself in the eyes. But I usually would use a shoelace, or I would have this and just wrap it back around without the bobby pins, but I like the tightness of it, and I want to make sure that my puff is the right size, if you get what I mean. Sometimes if the band is too loose, it doesn't have the tension that keeps the puff up and the sides smooth. I really like a smooth, slick puff, and when I say slick, I still like my waves because, my hair is curly. I'm not gonna try to go for a straight style with curly top. It's not that deep, but it's also something that I just want to make sure of. And then I take some extra gel just to kind of get my baby hairs together, and I can do this more meticulously, or I can be a little bit more careless about it. Not careless, but just not as precise. This time I'm not being as precise because you don't really need to do that much with it. The hair, the slickness, the waves, that is the star of the show. My love. And the love don't wanna make it take your spot, my love. Whenever I choose to do little curly cues, I do have to add a little extra gel just because the sides of my hair are more cottony and they don't really curl up on their own, so I gotta kind of help it out. I'm gonna tie this up with my satin scarf, and usually I'll do this and then go about getting dressed for the day, putting on my eyebrows, all of that. I'll just kind of smooth that out a little bit, wait about 5 to 10 minutes, and then come back and take this out. Sometimes I'll even drive all the way to my destination and then take it out. Oh, and I can't forget, I started doing this recently. Take the puff part out so that way my curls aren't pressed down. Like I said earlier in the video, my hair wasn't as defined because I did bigger sections, but you get the idea. Curlier the better, don't smush it. Looks cute, right? I love it. All day long, your love is one in a million. It goes on and on. You And style number 3, this is really a half up, half down, but me personally, whenever I do this, I'm gonna do 2 puffs on top. And that's because my hair, I have fine hair, but it's also not very dense. So if I was to do one ponytail on top, like one puff, it's not gonna look right. So I kind of have to do 2 to kind of give the illusion of volume, of more hair. You get my drift? Just keep watching. I separate this with my fingernails. That's why I said you can use your comb or fingernails. Just depends on how precise you want it. My hair, it's fluffy enough that it will cover, and I'm not that pressed about it. Like I said, these are easy go-to styles. Something quick and simple that you can do, especially when you don't really want to do your hair. These are quick ones to do. But for this top part, because it will show, I do want to kind of make it a little bit more intentional and precise so that I'm not grabbing hair and pulling it. That's one thing about these 2 puff styles, as you'll see. You just want to make sure if you're going to do something, no matter how lackadaisical you do it, you just want to make sure that you're not pulling something that doesn't need to be pulled. I chose to put a bang out. You don't have to. The bang pieces in all these styles are very much optional. These are styles that you can always add stuff, take stuff out, add accessories, don't add accessories. They're simple, easy. But you read the title, so let me just let you watch. Placement of the buns is key. Remember I said, I don't have a lot of hair on my head for real. It's really an illusion. So where I place my buns is very important so that they don't look 1, lopsided, or 2, skimpy. Like, I don't need 2 ball puffs on top. Like, that's not cute. And also, it will depend on how defined my hair is. Since my hair is more on the puffy, fluffy side, it is also going to fall down. It's not very like afro puff. It's more like afro poofs, afro fluffs, if you get what I mean. You see it.
They just wanna fuck with you. Just they know I fuck with you. If I put my trust in you, what will you do? Will you just step back? Will you duck it out? Will you be here to the end?
And style number 4, loose puff with curly pieces. Now, do you see a theme? A lot of these things are similar, just a little bit different. Now, how this is different from the high puff is this is loose. Now, if you see the scrunchie I have on this one, it's that fluffy one. We're not pulling this tight at all. Now, this style in particular, I would 100% do with a wash and go preferably, because the wash and go, it very much defines the curls and they keep them very separated. This, as the day goes on, the hair will puff up just with the humidity. Probably depends on where you live. I'm in Florida, so the humidity is there. But this is more of a wash and go style, but it gives me very much like Y2K, Claire from My Wife and Kids. The first time I wore it with my Juicy Couture sweatsuit, and I was like, yes, it's giving Y2K. It's giving like, just carefree coming out the house. Very simple. Now, I'm putting this in a ponytail, and it looks like I'm doing it tight, but I'm just grabbing it tight and then pulling it up to make sure that all of the hair that's in there is coming out at the top. Because it's not going to be tight, I kind of have to pull it all out at the beginning to make sure that it's all out. I'm going to twist out these curly pieces that I left out so that they get defined. This is something that I would do where I would twist these up and then go get dressed, put my makeup on, etc., and then take it out. Or if I was to do it like this with the twist out, I would keep them twisted up personally. But I do like how the end result turns out. And you know the routine by now. We're gonna wrap it up. Take the top off that puff. We're wrapping it up just because the edges got a little bit frayed up when I was doing my edges. We're gonna take that out after we've gotten cute, pretend I've changed. Take this out. Mind you, this is loose. And for this style, because it's not a wash and go that I'm starting from, I personally would have left the curly pieces twisted, or I just won't separate it as much. As you see, I really only separate it once because it will get bigger as the day goes on. But that is it, y'all. Cute, right?
Just another reaction.
And for our last style, one of my favorites, the two puffs. Now, this one is my next to favorite, next to the high puff, of course. But this one, I decided to do a bigger front bang. But like I said, with all these styles, that is very much optional. You can choose however you'd like to do it and how much you'd like to take out. This one, I don't normally do. Normally, I'll just do two puffs and that's it, no bangs at all. But you'll see that even from what I do in the video, changes up from what I have in the profile pictures. And you're just gonna see the process is very much the same as all the others. You're gonna start out with some spray, section out your halves, and then go from there. Now with this style, I'm not being as precise on how clean the part is, but I am trying to make sure that it is straight up and down because crooked parts are never cute. I don't have as much hair on my head, so that's just the main thing I worry about, not as much having it clean. It doesn't really matter to me, but that's always an option. You can add, curved parts, etc. And the application process is similar to the high puff. You already know the drill by now. Saturate with water, mist with water. Add your gel, not too much because we don't want to add too much product because we are going to do more smoothing with our hands, which will eventually kind of get to the hair that gets left out, and we kind of want to have as much curl definition as we can with this one. This definitely is a style that I would do with like a twist out or something like that. Not as much with a wash and go, more so when the wash and go is a few days old. And we're gonna get our hair tie. We're gonna make sure that the first puff is correct because this side is basically the blueprint of how the whole style comes out. And I realized when I was making this that the best angle for me personally, probably for you too, just try it out, is that your puffs are in line with the arch of your eyebrow. So that way it's at the perfect height. And like I said earlier in the tutorial, my hair isn't very puffy today, it's more fluffy. So I need to also take that into account of how I'm going to place my puffs. And I'm going to separate these out with clips because the last thing you want, which happens to me every single time, so annoying, is when I am doing my second puff, as I'm starting to wrap it up with my hair tie, I feel something pulling and I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's hair from the other puff. So make sure that that's out the way and you don't accidentally take it. But you also have to take the clip out to make sure that they're even. So watch me as I take this out a few times because it definitely will never be right on the first time. For me anyway. Oh, and another thing. You kind of want to make sure that you get this right in as little tries as possible because every time you take that hair clip out, every time you take that hair tie out, you're losing definition. You're putting excess product where product doesn't need to be, and it's kind of taken away from the fluffiness, the curl definition, and all of that from the overall style. So be careful, but also be precise and enjoy watching me do the rest of this. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and finish this off with our edges like normal. And like most of these styles, you can add as much bang as you want, extra curly pieces, side pieces, all of that. These styles are great for freshly washed hair, fresh twist out and braid outs, wash and goes, or even when your hair is dry, crusty, and needs a new wash, do, etc. These are my go-tos, but I am looking to do some new styles now, especially because I'm going to be a natural hair beauty YouTuber. I need to add some more styles to my repertoire. So stay tuned for that because I have more coming next week. Enjoy, guys. Bye-bye.
Look back while I twerk. No comparison. I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid. What was happening? What was happening?